Hey, family. This is Che Willis coming back with another episode of Wealth is a Journey podcast. Guys, this is episode 124, 124 weeks of consistency, 124 weeks of getting it done. As always, we outside. If you are new to this podcast, thank you so much for joining us. On this podcast, we talk about faith, family, and finances, among other things. If you are a return listener, watcher, subscriber, thank you so much for joining us again. Hopefully, we are adding value to your lives on the way to the M's because we are on the way to the M's. So, you guys may have seen a previous podcast episode with Mark and Kamala Smith, some of my rich friends. So today I have their son, Jaden Smith, to join us on the podcast to talk about investing from a young person's perspective because we need that and we need the wisdom and guidance from the young people so we know exactly how to train up our kids. Maybe we're missing the mark somewhere. So today we have Jaden Smith on the podcast. Thank you so much for joining us, good brother. Thank you, man.
Thanks for having me. Thank you for
Yeah,
having me.
yes, sir. Absolutely, man. Jaden, if you wouldn't mind just giving us a small snapshot of who you are and what you do, and then we will get rolling.
So I'm Jaden Smith. I'm 21.
Hmm.
I'm an entrepreneur, always been an entrepreneur all my life. I get it straight from my dad. I currently run a soccer training business,
Okay.
and I have some things floating around, learning how to do some things so I could really get that going. But my main focus right now is my soccer business.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Hey, listen, man. Jaden's gonna be rich. I already know that because we'll get into it, but I just want to touch on this little topic real quick. A few months ago, maybe a year ago now, Jaden reached out to me and was like, "Yo, I want to learn about investing." So I'm like, "Okay, I'm not a financial advisor, but I'll give you the information that I know." We hopped on a call for maybe 40 minutes or so. We broke some things down, and Jaden started executing immediately. So that tells me that he's going to be rich. One, because he asked the question that he was lacking in an area, he sought out the information, and then he executed on the information. And then I would follow up with him periodically. Yo, how's that portfolio looking? Hey, what you buying today? Hey, I see the market's down. What you buying? And he would always have an answer for me. So the young boy is gonna be super rich. He's gonna be up, man. Because I wasn't even thinking about that back then. But my first question to you, Jaden, from a young person's perspective, what is important to you? And I ask the follow up question after that, but I need to know what's important to you as a young person coming up.
Um, for me, I feel like ever since I was younger, I've had that money mindset.
Hmm.
So I feel like a lot of young people, they don't really have the same mindset as me when
Hmm.
it comes to money. Like, teenagers, they want to buy nice cars, they want to show things off.
Yep.
I feel like I'm the opposite. Like I don't really care about that stuff. I like
Hmm.
to let my pockets speak for themselves
Let's go.
when I have it. So like it's not just like showing off everything to me. I like my pockets to be right where I want them,
Yeah,
and I don't like to have debt whatsoever.
my
Like
man.
I've never had debt. I never want to have debt.
Yeah.
So I always try to save every dollar I can, and
Hmm.
just try to let my money stretch. If I see
Yeah.
anything I want to buy, I'm always looking for a deal. I'm not cheap, but like
Yeah.
I always want to look for a deal because I care a lot about my money.
Fam, even if you are cheap, so what? It's your money, bruh. Like, fam, like we get into this mindset of allowing other people's opinions to affect the way we move. And that's the number one way to be poor. Like if you go and buy things because other people are going to say ooh and ah and not because you like the thing, then the likelihood of you being poor or financially challenged is very high. Once you get your head wrapped around, I don't really care what this person thinks about what I have or don't have, then you're going to be up. Like
Mhm.
it's going to increase. The reason I asked you about what is important to you is because I think me and your parents come from a generation where we had to figure it out, right? We had to get it from not the mud. I mean, because we weren't dirt poor or anything like that, but we had to go to a certain place like to figure out how to get money and maintain it, right? And you as the person who is the beneficiary of the hard work, it scares me that my son may think like, oh, well, this is my life and this is how it's always going to be without having to put in the hard work. So that's why I wanted to know what was important to you because like I feel like when I talk to him about money, I talk to him about investing and stuff like that. But again, he's only 14. He's 13
Yeah.
right now. He doesn't really care because this is his life. So how did you get into that mindset when you grew up in money, so to speak?
Um, it's kind of weird how my upbringing came. So I I grew up in money when I really understood money. So I know when I was younger, I was born in Philly.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know much about Philly because my parents tried to get me out of Philly
Yeah.
young. Um, and the only thing I really remember from my youth is living in this small house over in Newcastle.
Okay.
But other than that, I all I remember is this house. But even though I was always around money, my
Yeah.
parents kind of made it clear to me to earn my money. So I would always have chores.
Hmm.
And at first it was just chores. And then the businessman in me was kind of like, why should I do these chores if I'm not getting paid? So I negotiated payment and allowance,
Yeah.
and that kind of drove me to do the chores. And then I guess that kind of structure that my parents gave me notice like I gotta work for what I want to get. So
Yeah.
that's always been my mindset. Like even growing around money, like I always knew like you gotta work for what you got. And like it's also weird to me because when I grew up, I used to always think everybody's life was kind of like me. Like I didn't even think
Yeah.
that certain things were going on like until probably maybe late middle school.
Hmm.
I'll always remember I had friends that would come over and they would be like, "You got all this stuff, like you should start throwing parties." And I'm like, I feel like this is normal. Like I don't like I never thought like that. Like people even in high school, they'd be like that he's rich. And I'm like, I'm not rich. I thought this was normal.
Yeah. I mean, I beg to differ. I think you guys are rich, but continue. I'm sorry. Continue, please.
But yeah, just growing up, I always kind of I always thought my life was how everybody's life was. And
Mhm.
I appreciate that, and I appreciate that I got to see that everyone's life wasn't like that at a higher age because I understood what my life could be. Because I feel like when you're younger, you're not really subject to seeing that kind of stuff, and that kind of stuff can get in your head. But when you're older, you really understand it. So I feel like that kind of shaped how I am today.
Yeah, and your dad and your mom work really hard. Like
Yeah,
your dad, set my theater up, and I know he travels. He's up on ladders. Like he's really like going hard to provide this life for you and your mom.
yeah,
And your mom, she's high up in what she does as well. So I'm not
yeah.
going to discount that. But um, when did it click for you that hard work is the way? Like, was there a certain instance that clicked for you to that hard work is going to get me to where I want to be?
I feel like there's no single instance, but it's kind of just seeing my parents grow up. Because my parents, they're very different in how they got to where they're at.
Hmm.
My dad was the grinder. He was out all the time, working, working. I know there's some nights I wouldn't see him till 12. I'm on the game all night,
Yeah.
and then I'd hear him come in.
Hmm.
My mom, there were days I'd come back from school and I'd have food ready and made, and I
Yeah.
knew it was the day she went to school.
Yeah.
So I saw that. So like I saw my dad out working all the
Yeah.
time. And then I would see my mom out striving to get where she wanted to be in school.
Yeah.
So there were always days I remember every Monday I'd come home from like practice or something. There'd be a plate ready for me because my mom was out and I knew I wouldn't see my mom. But I just see it like especially with my mom. Like my mom, she really went through the ranks. Like people say
Yep.
you're supposed to do it. My mom worked at one company for about 17 years. She was going to school while she was doing that. She moved up to Christianity and now she's a state rep. So like I've seen her work ethic
Yes.
and I've always seen my dad's work ethic. So I just feel like as I've grown up, I've seen you need to work to get where you're at because of
That's
my mom.
dope. Yeah, nah, that's good, bro. And but that also brings me to another point. When you're going hard in one area trying to achieve something and trying to achieve a dream and build something, there are other things that get left by the wayside. As a young person, how did that make you feel being the recipient of the things but then maybe not having the time? Does that make sense? How
Yeah.
was that as a kid? Because I remember, and I talked about it on a podcast episode before, that I'm building this. And one day I go upstairs and I see my son, he's eating dinner by himself, which that killed me. I never wanted that for,
Mhm.
I'm trying to build something, but I never wanted that. So how did that make you feel as the person who had the plate left for them?
Um, I feel like for me, it wasn't like something that really affected me.
Hmm.
Um, I just feel like this time and age, it's kind of normal. I feel like not a lot of families really do have dinner together as
Okay.
much as they used to.
Yeah.
Um, and I know for me, when there were times that my parents weren't working, they always tried to make sure they were with me. We were going out.
Yep.
Like that's the thing about my dad. Like people will think he's the grinder, which he is, but when it's time to be with his family, he's always in with his family. Like
One
he's a
thousand
hundred
percent.
percent. Yeah.
Yeah, 1000%. Nah, that's good, man. I always wanted to know that, like the other side of that, because I know what I see as the person who's grinding,
Yeah.
who's trying to build something. But the kid, I wanted to know like what that's like for you growing up in that. And it's not like you're alone all the time, but
Hmm.
those times where you're supposed to be together eating dinner, breaking bread. That's how we came up. But
Yeah.
now that we're building the things, like some of those things, fall by the wayside. So I just wanted to get your perspective on that.
Yeah. And I feel like now it's kind of the opposite. So like a lot of times it'll be me coming home late while maybe my
Hmm.
mom and dad are here. And then I guess I'll see them eating dinner before I eat dinner. So I guess the everything kind of flips as children grow up. So I also can see that side that you're talking about.
Yeah, no doubt. And if you guys don't know who we're talking about too, again, on my Instagram, my man dad had a 50th birthday party, and it was probably the best party I've ever been to in my whole life. Had luxury cars lined up in the grass, Jazzy Jeffs in the back, DJing, Cosmic Kev is out there DJing. I think Doc B was there as well, which are local heroes of ours. And it was so lit, man. And I'm like, yo, I thank you for being my friend. That's what I told your dad after. I'm like, thank you so much, man. I appreciate y'all, man. But when like growing up and realizing, yes, I am gonna have to grind, right? But then also realizing that you can use your mind to make money as well, like investing in companies, things of that nature. When did that take hold for you to understand, like, I don't have to grind, I can use my mind as well to make money?
Um, I feel like it was around when I was 13.
Hmm.
Uh, my dad tried to let me know about investing early.
Hmm.
Um, which is always the best idea to let everyone know as early as possible because that gives it more time to grow.
Facts.
But I saw this type of things my dad was doing
Hmm.
because he is the grinder, but he's also always looking for that easy way to make the next
Facts.
buck. And I was subject to that, and I was always able to see that.
Hmm.
And he would always talk to me about that certain type of stuff. Another thing with that is I feel like I always just kind of had that in me. Like a story my mom always talks about. I had this piggy bank
Hmm.
and a lot of people they'll use the piggy bank to buy like, I don't know, like a little candy bar or
Yep.
like something like that. My piggy bank had a note on it. It said house fund.
Let's go. Let's go.
And I was probably about 12 when that I had that piggy bank.
Yeah.
Like for me, it was always that next big thing. It was never really that short-term item. It was always go above and beyond. So that's always what I'm saving for. I'm always saving for that next big thing, not that next small thing.
Bro, that's huge, man. And I think now that I'm thinking about it, like I had a conversation with your dad many, many years ago, and it was we were talking about real estate. If you don't know, listeners and watchers, I'm a real estate investor, and we have a few properties. And I was talking to his dad at a men's conference for our church, and he was like, "Yo, tell me about the properties and blah 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 blah." So we were going through the whole thing, and you know, the pros and cons and all that stuff. I talked to him. I'm thinking maybe 3 months later, and I think he had three properties. Like he had none when we were talking, and then a few months later, he had three. So the action taker, if I don't want people to miss that, like people who are wealthy or are going to be wealthy at some point in time, those are the action takers. They see a gap, or they see an area of opportunity where they can excel, and they take action. And when we spoke about investing, you took action. So I think I commend you for doing that, because as a young person to have that mindset when it's Instagram this, it's I'm going to flash this money, I'm going to flash my car and all those different things, and you're not doing that. How did you separate that? It sounds like you were doing this from a young age, but how did you not get caught up in the current of having a flash and having to show what you had? Because I know that I got pulled into that, like buying Gucci and buying Louis Vuitton when I was making a little bit of money. So how did you not do that?
Um, I feel like for me, it was because of my mindset of just going above and beyond.
Hmm.
So I knew this couple $200 I may spend on this could go a long way. So
Yeah.
that's how I always think about money. Like people will say, I see it, I buy it. For me, I see it and I wonder what I can do with that extra money. So,
Hmm.
instead of me showing off this type of stuff, I kind of look at it from a long-term perspective. Like
Hmm.
with a lot of my friends are really into cars.
Okay.
And but when they buy cars, they come to me to either look for the cars or consult with me about certain things, like payments, stuff like that. And I always tell them, stay away from a payment, all of that, because I don't, that's one thing about cars I never understood. Like
Yeah.
it's like a double loss. You're paying for something you like, but you're paying every month into it and it's just losing value. So not only are you paying into something that's losing value, but it's also an asset that could break. Like it's losing value
Yeah.
double. You're
Yeah.
losing money on it, and because you're driving it, it's losing life.
So
So
question.
yeah,
If okay, so I'm a young person and I want this nice car. But if I try to pay cash for it, because that's what you're recommending, right? Pay cash for the car. Okay,
yeah.
good. Very good. I'm with you. But for the person who is going to take 5 years to save up for this car to buy cash, what do you say to that person that's going to take that much time?
The 5 years
Yeah.
to buy the car.
Say it's a luxury car and it's going to take them. They don't have a lot of money. They're working at a, they maybe making minimum wage, but they want to buy a nice car. What do you say to them?
Um, that nice car will be there in the next 10 years. It'll be there in the next 15 years.
Yeah.
Buy something that's affordable now, and then you'll have a car and you can still build up money for it. So I just don't see the point in paying the bank for a vehicle
Hmm.
because it's losing value. Like the only thing I personally think that makes sense to pay the bank is for a home because it's gaining value.
Yes.
So when it comes to cars, I never tell people to make a payment or save up for like a luxury car.
Mhm.
I never, me personally, I just never saw the point in it.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, I would probably just tell them like buy something that gets you to point A and point B and don't even worry about it. Like I have
Yeah.
a friend who
Yep.
he's paying an outrageous amount on a vehicle right now. And the worst part about it is he only goes from his job to his house. And sure, he'll
Mm.
go other places on the weekend, but like
Sure.
his job and his house are walkable. They're that close, but he's paying a lot for his car.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's probably killing his wealth building opportunity, which probably when he bought the car wasn't necessarily on his mind, but probably hanging around you a little bit more.
Yeah.
That may be at the forefront of his mind at this point.
Yeah.
Bruh. So what do you tell him now if he's complaining to you, oh man, this car no got me in a chokehold? What advice do you give him to help him?
He's in a tricky situation because of how upside down he is. So like he's upside down to a point where like the amount he owes on it is not what a new one would cost.
Whoa.
Yeah. So like even some of my friends, we tried to give them options to think about it. It's like your best bet is getting a loan to pay the difference while you sell the car because the loan will have a lower interest rate and then maybe walk into work for probably about a month or two and just going to work and then
Yeah.
till you can get another car. But it's just a tricky situation and that's just how cars are. I've seen so many people go in a lot of debt over a vehicle and I just feel like it messes up your wealth a lot because you're kind of stuck with this vehicle and you're spending money on it while also paying for it. So it's just, yeah,
I agree 100%. And once I got my head wrapped around like payments are wealth killers. And if you have to have a car payment, I completely understand, but get something that you can afford while simultaneously building up your wealth.
yeah,
So maybe you get a $200 car note instead of a $500 car note and you invest the difference, and pay the $200 car note and invest $300. But my next question to you is, how do young people, or not young people, how do you budget your money at this point? Do you write it down? Because it sounds like you have a solid plan to build wealth. And I believe that you need to be able to tell your money where to go in order to do that. And the only way you can do that is have a budget. So, do you have a budget, and how does that work for a young person as far as budgeting their money?
um, I feel like I personally don't have a budget. That's something I do need to work on,
Okay.
but I feel like I need to have a budget, but at the same time, for me, I've always done math kind of in my head.
Yep.
Um, so like I know uh I take this certain amount of money out every month for investments and saving. So
Yep.
like right now, I have a high yield and I put money into it every month for my home. It's a high
Yep.
yield just for my home. So right now, that's really my only investment.
Yep.
Um, and then I'll do like I do like $25 a week for Roth IRA because
Good.
that's nothing. But
Yeah.
other than that, everything I really save goes toward that high yield interest
Yeah.
account for my
Yep.
home.
Yep. No, that's good.
Yeah,
No, that's good. And I don't want people to miss what you said, and I want to kind of correct what you said. You said $25 a month or $25 a week is nothing. It's something because it's if you're doing it every month, it's 52 weeks in a year. That's $5,200, right?
yeah,
And that's not even including whatever interest and dividends and things like that you're getting. So I wanted to say that. So if you only have $25 a week to invest at this point in time, do it. If you only have $25 a month to invest, do it. Because once more money starts coming in, you'll already be in a pattern of investing, and then you could just dump more money in. And I will also tell you too, Jay, that It's good for you that you don't have a budget now. It's okay for you, not good for you. It's okay for you not to have a budget now because your expenses are really really low. You still live at home at this current time. But what I will tell you also is that it will be better for you to get into the habit of budgeting your money now because your expenses are low right now. But when if you get into the mindset of just doing the math in your head, then maybe when you get your house, you'll have the same mindset. So it's good for you to start budgeting your money now and actually having and writing out a plan. And then when you go over to having a house, when you have a way more expenses and you got a lot more things that could possibly happen to have that. So I would highly encourage you to start budgeting your money because it's only going to help you later on. And you're going to be like you're up now, you're going to be super up like once you get the house and it's making money and all that stuff for you. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And the same thing for real estate. I know your dad invests in real estate, right?
Yeah.
Like he's a landlord. He has tenants. Are there any other real estate, or I'm sorry, are there any other investment vehicles besides your soccer business and besides investing in your Roth IRA that you're currently participating in or want to?
Um, I'm actually going through trading at the moment.
Let's go.
I yeah, I've been learning trading for about 3 months now. And
Okay,
then actually starting Sunday, I'm doing one-on-one training with my trainer as well.
that's dope, man. So
Yeah.
are you paper trading right now, or did you actually put money to
Oh
work?
no, I'm not putting any money to work yet. I'm doing paper trading,
Good.
uh, but I really want to learn as much as I can before I even paper trade, like fully.
Hmm.
Because right now it's more of me looking at the market, noticing market trends. But that's what I want to do full time when I'm 100% locked into that.
Bro, yeah, there's and that's another thing as far as like budgeting your money too. Like you set a certain line item for what you can put into the market or put into your trading account every week or every month, however you often you get paid, and building that line item in your budget. So once the money's gone, it's gone. And that's what I did to start trading as well. I just started trading at the beginning of the year. And before that, I was getting my teeth kicked in, bro. Like it was bad. But at this, bro, at the same time, I had no idea what I was doing. Like I had
Yeah,
no clue. I'm watching YouTube channels and it was a mess. So I lost a lot of money. So I'm like, yo, I gotta lock in and figure out what I'm doing wrong. And I got a course. I didn't buy a course. I was somebody was actually showing me exactly how to do the thing.
yeah.
So I was getting training from them on how to do it, and I was like, okay, now I see what I was doing wrong. And then I was still losing money. I was still losing money, but I was being impatient too because as soon as I see my account turn red, I'm pulling my money out. Like, but it can turn around on a dime if you see the patterns and the trends. To your point, so just know I'm going to tell you now. You will take some else, and it's all a part of the journey. It's okay.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it. But like if you learn from what you did wrong, then you will win as a result. So um I have another question for you as far as retirement. Have you thought about retirement at all?
Always, always.
Okay. So tell me more about that, please. Tell me about it.
I feel like I work so hard because of retirement. Um, my goal has always been retire by 40.
Yes.
Always. I don't want to work all my life.
Yeah.
That's another thing with the youth I feel like is not annoying, but it's not something I like hearing. Um,
Hmm.
I'll be working. People will say, "You have all your life to work." That's a big pet peeve phrase I hate hearing
Yeah.
because I don't have all my life to work. I don't want to work all my life.
Bruh,
Why would
that's
anyone want to work
love.
all day life?
But bro, if you think about it, that's the program that we've always come up in. Like, well, not us. I'm talking about like people before us and before them. That was the thing. You
Yeah,
work until you're 65, you get a pension or you get your 401k and then you wait to die, basically. You enjoy a little bit of it. But by the time you're 65, how much can you really enjoy the $1 million or, $2 million that you have? Like,
Yeah.
because if you haven't really been taking care of yourself, then you can't really get around like you used to. So one book I'll recommend to you if I haven't already is Die with Zero. It's
I
an
have
amazing,
not.
bro. It's an amazing book, bro. But it's basically talking about getting to making as much money as possible now, and then also living and enjoying the money instead of waiting till you're 65 to retire.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of my goals as well, to retire by 45. I'm 45 now, but I'm a lot closer to, like, even if I don't hit the 45-year-old mark, I'm a lot closer than I would be at 65, if that
Yeah.
makes sense. So, um, bro, you're a unicorn fan. Like, I've never no, I'm dead serious. Like, I've never talked to a young person who had their mind on buying real estate. Like, that was my thing, buying real estate. By the time I'm 21, I'm buying my first house. I'm 23. That's when I bought my first house. But I had the mindset of saving money away, and by the time I was 23 to buy the house. So, um, that's amazing, man. So, what is going to be the thing that's going to retire you?
Um, I feel like it'll be real estate.
Okay.
For me, trading is kind of that thing. I want to build capital. So that's kind of like my capital builder. Build a capital. Um, as everybody says, once you make real money, there's just the sky's the limit. Like I always heard that one saying, once you make your first million, those other millions are easy to come by. Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, like even like you had the goal of 23 to have your own house. That's pretty much my goal. 23, 24.
Hmm.
Um, I never want to rent. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with renting, but
Sure.
I've just never wanted to rent.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like I try to visualize everything that I want and I
Yep.
try to put it to work. So we just did vision boards not too long ago, probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Me, my
Okay.
girlfriend, my mom, my brother. Um, and the big thing I have on there, it's circled everything. Millionaire by 30.
Let's go.
That's that's my biggest thing on there. Millionaire by 30. And that's what I'm striving to do. That's my
That's
biggest
dope, man.
goal.
Yo, being a millionaire is, like, it may seem like a lofty goal, and it is a lofty goal. Don't I don't want to sound crazy, but
Yeah.
it's a lot easier than you think it is, especially if you have the mindset that you have. Like, hey, the flashy things, can I buy them? Absolutely. Are they important to me? Not really. And if you have that mindset, like, that's number one. If you can delay gratification and do the important things that are important to you now, then you'll be able to build. If you keep your expenses low and you build your assets up, then being a millionaire is pretty easy. Simple, not easy, simple. And if you keep rinsing and repeating that thing, then you'll be a millionaire in no time. You buy real estate, you keep trading, your account goes up, the equity in the house goes up, and you'll be a millionaire. Like, and then
Yeah.
if you pay your house off quick, because it sounds like you don't like debt. So if you pay, even if you pay your primary residence off quick, that'll help you get there faster.
Yeah.
Bro, you gonna be super up, bro.
I hear that so much. Like, even my girlfriend's dad, she's always like, when you become a millionaire, like I don't know, it's just been instilled in me that I'm gonna be successful
Yeah.
because of the people that are around me. I
Hmm.
don't know, they just see it in me. Everybody I talk to, they just see it in me.
Hmm.
Like, so my main job, I deliver for FedEx.
Okay.
This guy, his name's Frank. One day I'm not there. He's talking to the guy who's replacing me. The guy tells me that kid's gonna be bright someday. This guy, I've been delivering him for forever, but he just sees that in me.
Yeah.
And even when I'm delivering, I'm always looking for the next person to talk to. Like that's one thing about me. Connections is big. I always like to connect with people and talk to people all the time.
Yeah.
Like I delivered to a storage unit. I was talking to this guy for probably about 20 minutes during my route, and he connected me with somebody who can help me with real estate.
Mm,
Just off a simple question of how did you start this storage unit? How did you get here? Um, and just like that, I connected with him and he connected me with somebody to begin my real estate journey. Um, Even getting on my computer today, I checked my email. It's an email I should have saw a while ago, but I just now saw it.
mm,
Something as simple as me looking on a real estate site. You know, you look on Zillow, all that other stuff. I
yep.
looked on there, I messaged somebody who had the listing up. And now I'm probably going to connect with this lady about how she started real estate. Just simple stuff like that. You can always connect with anybody, and I always like to take information from anybody I talk to because information is power and connections are everything. Connections are everything.
I
Like
I
even a
agree,
job, you can't get a job without a connection today. Like applying really doesn't do much for you. It's all about who you know. So
bro.
I always try to find anybody I can talk to about whatever they went through, however they did it, and I learn from that and implement it in whatever I do.
That's dope, man. Yeah, you just said so much, man. And like relationships, like you said, are everything. And I see that's one thing that I feel like I still lack a little bit. Relationship building. And I see your dad and I see your mom. Your mom's she's getting out of her shell. I think she's a recovering introvert like me, and I see her getting out of her shell, and she's a state representative now, which is insane from
Yeah,
where she came from, right? And building those relationships is everything, man. And I see that your parents are doing it. I see your dad specifically doing it, and I see you doing it. And you're taking that information and you're executing. Like information is power, but executed information is even more powerful, which is another reason why you're going to be up.
yep.
I mean, bro, you got a bright future, man. Like I see it. I see it, man. And like I said earlier, you asked the question about investing and then you executed on it immediately, which is huge. A lot of people will just ask the question just to talk. And you'll answer them and then you follow up with them and they ain't done nothing about what you said. I'm like, fam, you done just wasted all my time. You'd have wasted all my time. But
Yeah,
hey, man, I think this has been a great interview because I think that we all need the younger person's perspective, and a lot of people think that young people are lost out here. And to hear you talk about your future and what you see for yourself and things that you're executing on and not just living day to day and check to check and
yeah.
bopping along. Like it's refreshing to see a young person like actually with a goal and executing on what they see and having a vision board and having goals. Like it's huge, man. So what's one thing that you can leave us with, man? What's one word of wisdom that if a young person is watching this and they're feeling like they can't do it, like talk to that person, man, please.
I always say just take it one day at a time, but always look at the next day. So
Mm,
keep it one day at a time. Like even if one day is too much, take it 1 hour at a time, but always know what you're doing the next hour.
I like it.
Just keep it that way. So for me, I always tell people invest as much as you can or as little as you can, not as nothing as you can, as little as you can,
That's
because
a fact, bro.
it goes a long way. Like I said, that $25.
Yeah,
I do that every week. What, like 4 weeks? I'll have about $100 every month. Just simple stuff like that.
absolutely,
Um,
man.
yeah, just always talk to people around you, find out what investments are best. Um, I'm beginning to start to talk about that on social media. I'm trying to branch out, talk about that kind of stuff from a younger perspective
Hmm.
and let people know how to invest because a lot of people don't know how to invest and they think it's hard. It's really not hard.
At all, at all. But you just have to start.
Yeah.
You know, that's dope, man. And what I want to know, because we're this is going to be broadcast, and I want to look back at this 3 to 5 years from now, and I want to know Jaden now. Where is Jaden going to be in 3 to 5 years?
My big goal is to move to Georgia. I don't
Mm,
just
okay.
something about Georgia. I've loved Georgia. I'm going there for my birthday. I'm going to Savannah to look
Okay.
at it, check it out, see if my girlfriend likes it. Um, so in 3 to 5 years, I want to have a home in Georgia. Um, I want to be a profitable trader
Hmm.
because you can have profit, but that doesn't mean you're profitable. So I
That's
want
a
to be
fact.
profitable. Um, and I want to get my income up. So that goes with being profitable. I've always wanted to get my income up. I'm good with the little income I get, but
Hmm.
I know once I get that boost, the sky's the limit for me. So 3 to 5 years, home in Georgia, um, and have my career set, my trading career set, and have 1 to 2 rental properties.
Bruh. Yeah. And what I'll tell you about the rental property, it's which is another hack of building more wealth, is don't be afraid to invest your rental income. That's another investment stream that you can do to help build your investment account up. I took hold of that a few years ago, and I've been doing it ever since. And I'll show you my account later. And that's all from profit from real estate.
Yeah.
Nothing that I put in on my own. I'll show you. I'll show you later. We'll see. We'll talk about it. But yeah, man, you like I said, bro, you have a bright future, and it's refreshing to talk to a young person who has his head on straight. And I know your parents, man, and I know your parents are super excited for your future as well, man, because that's one thing a parent does not want is for their kids to be a burden to them, and they feel like they got to raise them until they die, if that makes sense. So I know your parents are super excited for you. I'm super excited for you. And anything you need, bro, please reach out like you already did. So all right.
Well, I appreciate you for having me.
Absolutely, man. Guys, man, hopefully you guys have gotten a lot of nuggets from this young man. He is well on his way and he will be a millionaire probably before he's even 30. So wealth is a journey. We will see you next week. Peace.